What is Memory Alpha? Rick here, looking into that question in this short lore bite. So, the go-to resource for much Trek lore is the website Memory Alpha. However, why did this indispensable archive of pored over and meticulously curated continuity choose this as its name? Well, because Memory Alpha exists in the Star Trek universe too. In short, it is a library of collected knowledge and an institute dedicated to learning in all its forms. Located deep in United Federation territory within the Alpha Quadrant, sits a completely unremarkable planetoid. Star Trek Online's cohesive map illustrates it as being in the Tellar sector of the Alpha Quadrant, making Tellar Prime one of the closest Federation worlds, and a short journey from Sol. But this location has jumped around a little over the years, so it doesn't have a confirmed location. Being as it's so small, maybe it's even mobile, although an object of that size travelling at interstellar speeds is uncommon in Trek. Its collection of databases contains a majority of the academic knowledge from all members of the United Federation of Planets, and is an open facility for any of its citizens to access, and even non-Federation species. This makes it a nearly unmatched resource for information for independent researchers, Starfleet scientists, agricultural botanists, scholars, and board captains. So, as we can see, it's not just scientific knowledge that gets added to its archives, but all sorts, including entire cultures' artistic history, examples of alien culture, and deep reservoirs of knowledge on almost every subject under the stars. By the end of the 23rd century, it had catalogued information from 2,493 differing interstellar societies and was still growing. This pool of data is all from contributed sources, including Starfleet branches such as the Daystrom Institute and individuals from all over, as well as its own research. It included several categories such as the astrocultural databases, historical archives, stellar and planetary cartography, antiques, Starfleet history, external gifts, fine arts, and the list goes on. Access to the archive can be established by subspace communications so long as you are within range of a network. You can access the system from any personal device. Of course, some files are restricted and require authorization to access, although these are few and far between, as the institution was founded on the idea of shared learning, one of the key benefits of joining the United Federation of the Planets to begin with. The installation itself is a series of habitat domes on a barren rock. These domes, based on the initial design impressions, are around 210 metres in diameter. This makes the complex of domes look to be just over a kilometre in size, maybe 2 kilometres across. So I guess this little rock it sits on is remarkable in that it manages to maintain a spherical shape at such a small scale. Plus, it's possible that these structures extend within the planetoid itself. Although much of its stored knowledge is digital, it does contain research laboratories, holodecks, and physical libraries, and specimens, all donated for museum-related studies. Visitors to the planet are welcomed and curated by the staff archivists and clerks that work there. Visitors from Federation worlds can avail themselves of the myriad of computers and equipment the facility has to offer, so there's usually always an influx and outgoing of people. Alongside Memory Alpha, there are several other installations around Federation territory, such as Memory Beta, Gamma, Delta, and so on, initially conceived as 7 in total. Although these facilities each share archived information, each one was created with a specialty in mind to accumulate. Beta, for example, had greater facilities for studying exobiology, while Gamma studied economics and agriculture. Epsilon catalogued multi-physics topics, all those subspace models and universal law thingies, I guess, while Memory Delta studied astronomical objects such as stars and planets. There are other locations too, such as the Symphony Alpha, which contains museums dedicated towards many species, art and music. The memory outposts themselves are very lightly defended, with no shielding or weapon emplacements. Well, the latter I can understand, but no shielding seems rather dangerous, as was observed by the Enterprise in 2269. The lack of these systems was a symbolic gesture to the entire galaxy. that ideas and information should be shared by all and there should be no barrier to learning. Still, as one of the Federation's greatest resources, I can imagine that what the facilities lack in defence, Starfleet makes up for, though it does appear that the archives have never been a priority target throughout the Federation's many skirmishes and wars. The Memory Alpha archive was severely damaged in 2269 and possibly irretrievable, but was, however, restored by the end of the century. This led to the creation of a Memory Prime, which sits buried within an asteroid belt and acts as the nexus for the archives, and effectively a defendable backup should anything befall its sister outposts. This is just one of only a myriad of private and public archives that the Federation has access to, but it's often the first port of call if your local database, such as a starship's computer, has no relevant data on a topic. The foundations on which the memory complexes are built are idealistic and benevolent, that knowledge should be shared and made available to all, and honestly, that's a way of thinking I can get behind. I'll probably look into the other foundations and resources that the Federation has to call on, but I figured I'd start with the most well known. So, thanks for watching, and until the next video, goodbye.